as usual, in the corridors of Shudder, I watched a movie that may sound familiar to you. It's called Evil Dead Trap.
Evil Dead what?
It is called Evil Dead Trap.
Okay.
Yeah, this movie, you know what? I don't even have a date on it. I think it came out in 1989, though. You know, I could look that up. I'm bad host here. I'm pretty sure it was the end of the 80s. Yeah, it was 1988. This movie got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So naturally, it was a beacon that said, Tim, you must watch this.
You and these tomatoes.
Well, let me tell you what. I don't get it with this one at all. It's a Japanese movie. You know, we talk about this, how sometimes you just have to let some foreign cinema flow over you because of, you know, whether it's a cultural difference or whether it makes sense because of some reason we're unaware of. Mm-hmm. This movie made no sense to me at all. It was so crazy. It was directed by a guy named Toshiharu Ikeda, also written by him. He's a prolific in Japanese cinema. He's prolific, but no movies I'm familiar with. And of course, the cast is Japanese as well. And there is one person in the cast that has done an American film. Her name was Miyuki Ono. She was in that movie Black Rain. You remember that Ridley Scott film?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in that, but that's the only connection to anything that we are familiar with. A brief synopsis: a late night TV presenter receives a snuff tape in which a woman is brutally murdered. She decides to take a crew out to the location indicated in the tape, but only death and despair await them. It's very much a slasher movie. And it's very gory, very gory. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, maybe because of its slasher origins, this is why it ranked highly on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know why that would be. But then there's one moment in the film, and, you know, spoiler alert for those of, you know, a 30-year-old film. But one of the people that's like raping and killing this woman says he will free me from his hold if I murder for him, and she's like, him, and he's like, well, him within him. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And then later on in the movie, as like the final girl confronts the killer, there's like this tumor thing inside this guy that comes out, and it's like this mutant baby murderer thing. I mean, this movie is all over the board. So I would recommend it if you are bored and just want to see something really crazy and out there and don't mind subtitles. Otherwise, I would not recommend this movie, even though Rotten Tomatoes thinks highly of it. So Evil Dead Trap, which I'm sure is the American title. I have no idea what the Japanese title is.